Well, what a fun night this ended up being for the Colorado Avalanche, and what a hockey game that the Avs are able to find a way to win. Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche post-game show. We got Big E and Rudo coming to you live, as we are presented by Bet365, I guess. Avs win 5-4. We are going to break down all of the nitty-gritty and all of the interesting stuff in this game, but at the end of the day, Avs win. They go 4-1 in their last 5 into the break. They get 2 weeks off, so I don't know if I want to say the Avs are back, but you should be feeling good about this team right now, right?
100%. 100%. Listen, I feel good about it because I like the way that they responded to the challenge from their coach. You know what I mean? I think there was a little bite to his presser 5 games ago when he said, I'm treating this like it's playoffs. And you can see tonight he treated it like it was playoffs. Forget that there was no tomorrow, in the sense that they're on break for 14 days. But look at the ice time, and he'll tell you that we talked about it pregame. Like he wasn't, he wasn't really looking at the ice time. He really didn't give a schneizkies about the ice time. He was going for it, and he was playing with whoever he was going to play with. And that's what you do in playoff hockey some nights. And boy, oh boy, they've responded to his challenge really well. Tonight, we always said there's 2 teams out there. So, of course, it's a little bit of a yo-yo, momentum-wise, right? And obviously special teams tonight were big, in a sense that you score, you give up some, you score a shorty, you know what I mean? It was kind of a bologna sandwich there all over, right? You know what I mean? But it was fun. It was energetic. And I think that you go on a break feeling good about your game as a team, as individuals. Blackwood was at his best game. No. Again, you're judging a guy on a back-to-back. But he made the big saves at the end when he had to, and that's all I care about. And you go in there, like you said, it's 4-1. You feel good. Individually, some guys are playing out of their minds right now. Marty Party, Mackinnon, Mac meaning Makar. Nice to see, and I think that you couldn't ask for more. We talked about it. 4-1 gives you basically 800 hockey. You do that, you're going to be catching up teams. I don't care what people say. It's math. It's math.
Eric, what's the most time on ice you've ever played in a game, you think?
Buddy, I'm telling you, I remember it was the game, I want to say, before the 1998 Nagano Olympics. I believe we played Philly that game. We won 3-2. Don't ask me why. I don't remember who I was with. We were playing against Lindros, the Legion of Dooms, and I think I played 20 minutes and I almost passed out. I think I needed to go in the cold tub, and I wasn't used to playing that much. And I'll tell you one thing. I remember I was like, how do you guys do this night in and night out? You know what I mean? Because it's like I'd play my 10 or 8 minutes, and Joe would play his 25 minutes, and I'd be like, I need like 5-6 games for you to play one game. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be tired at the end of the month. It's a lot of hockey. It's a lot. It's a lot. And those guys, look at what is it, Makar 29 tonight? Boy, oh boy. I mean, that's a lot of shifts. It's a lot of sweat. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's kind of fun to watch. Some guys can really log a lot of ice. And believe it or not, some guys can't log. I mean, I'll start thinking there's guys that just can't log. You know what I mean? Because their brain shuts off after like 20 minutes, and it's like, buddy, you bring in the 23, it's like committing murder. You know what I mean? Like they just can't compute, and then they're just awful out there. But it's a lot of hockey, and my hats off goes to some of those guys. Man, oh man, that's a lot of hockey in 3 and 4 nights. Woo, that's a lot.
I can't find the Philly game, but I can tell you that year you played a game against Boston where you played 1933. So
with what team?
With the Avs.
Oh, really? God, yeah. All right. I'll take that. All right. Yeah, I did play a few games. All right. I want to say I got in the 20s one time, and I swear I needed an ice bag, and I had to go lay down. And it was like an afternoon game. I had a flight to Cabo the next day. I was like, man, I got to miss my flight.
Racking time on ice in 98. So I don't know about the games before that. but
Yeah, that's right.
uh, either way, my point being, Makar played 29 minutes tonight. And oh, by the way, 24 hours ago, he played 26 minutes. So that dude basically played a full 60-minute hockey game, 55 minutes, I guess, of ice time
24
in
hours.
24 hours for that guy.
And then, man, and again, I hate to say it because it sounds so stupid because I tell you all the time, but that 3 and 4 for me is worse. So then you add like 3 games in 4 nights. Like the Sega Baba is one thing, and he played an hour in the Sega Baba. That's ridiculous. But then you add the 3 and 4 with a little bit of travel in there. Boy,
Yeah.
oh boy, that's oh man, and he's still smiling at the end of the game and all pumped and it's like now, hey, switch bags, take your Team Canada bag now. You're gonna play, you know, at a different tournament, and you got to play just as many minutes.
And
Maybe not, but he'll be in the mid-20s.
and we'll get to it in our 3 stars, but arguably the Avs' best player tonight in with that much ice time. It's not like he's just logging minutes out there. He's going out there and being one of the best.
Oh, that's amazing. Like he's a unicorn. I'll say it again. He's the best player on the planet. I'm not scared to say it. So I'm saying it again.
You kind of touched on a lot of the topics I wanted to get into, E. I'm not knocking the guy. I don't think Mackenzie Blackwood was very good tonight. The rebound control in particular, he was fighting the puck a little bit tonight, and that cost the Avs a couple of goals. Again, I'm not worried about it. He's been so good for the Avs. I'm almost flipping that on its head. Blackwood wasn't great tonight. The Avs skaters in front of him gave him one back tonight. They picked them up, they went out, they outscored the problem, and they helped the guy who has stolen them some games lately.
Absolutely, and I don't think it was more. Sometimes it's like concentration or mechanics or what I mean. Like I just felt in tight. He couldn't smother stuff. You just even look at the Draisaitl one. I'm not saying it's not the last one. It's not a. It's kind of an unbelievable. The guy's a bull. I mean, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't matter. I just felt like he couldn't like cleanly like freeze a puck or put his paddle down and impede a puck from going across and then lets you freeze it. It just wasn't clean. Again, I'm not too sure. I mean, going back to how is he on back to backs or how is he done on back to back? But at the end of the day, I'm not worried about him. Like if you're reading right there, how do we say it? AWOL FX or AWOL. Sorry, I can't see. Man, I'm terrible. You know that.
You might be saying it right.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah. I mean, it's again. I'm not worried about it. It's not a normal thing. I really enjoy his play, and I think the guys do too. I think he's become a good team guy in the sense that the guys, like you said, they wanted to pick him up a little bit. Hey, he's saved us, and trust me, you say that in the locker room, and it's like, let's go. And then he found a way to win because he was good at the end there, and that's all you need him to do. And he was better than the other guy because the other guy wasn't very good.
But there were 3 goalies in this game, and Blackwood was better than the other starter. I'll put it to you that way. There's a little bit of trivia in chat there, E. I'm curious if you and your boy Parker Kelly, who always play trivia, might know the answer to this one. The last defenseman to score 30 goals.
I'm going to say, I'm going to go, I play with him. I'm going to say Kevin Hatcher. Is it?
I'm pretty sure Mike Green did it in the late 2000s.
Oh, he's right. He beat because Kevin Hatcher, when he did it, was with Washington too. And Calle Johansson and Sylvain Cote, I believe, were pretty damn close to 30 that year too. They had 3 guys on the back end. Yeah, you're right. It's got to be Mike Green. Who?
My only other guess would be Brent Burns. Yeah. Did he ever get 30?
I'm not sure. I think the answer is Mike Green, right? I don't think Leachy ever scored 30.
I know Green did it. I'm very confident Green did it. I just didn't know if someone more recent than him has done it. Anyway, we can continue on talking about this game. I think there's a lot of different angles to get into in this game. If we're going over the goals against the Avs really quick, just the reason I feel like it wasn't a great night for Blackwood. First goal, nothing he can do. That's a face-off play on a power play, ridiculous shot, sure, whatever. The next 2, One of them bounces in and out of his glove. You really want him to have that one, I think, if you're picking one. The third one, his rebound control isn't great. The 5 holes open, and it's a bad bounce off of Girard's body and goes in. If you want to chalk that up to a bad bounce, fine. And then the fourth one, you talked about the fourth one where it's a ridiculous play from Draisaitl, but also he doesn't handle the rebound very well.
No. But then again, there's a reason a guy scores. He's got 40,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, I'm like, whoa, this guy's got 40? Think about it. And we all know McKinnon's not on fire this year about scoring goals. He's at 20, but this guy's at 40. I'm not bashing Mac. I'm saying, obviously, McKinnon's got a gazillion assists. But the guy's a bull. He goes to the net, and he's not going to be denied. And, wow. You know what I mean? He's fun to watch. And he makes plays on his backhand, forehand. If you're not familiar with him, I mean, man, he's one of those guys that is fun to watch.
But honestly, the difference is the Avs left Blackwood in tonight. He battled, and with help from his team, he did enough to win this game. On the other side, I tweeted this after the first period, the Edmonton Oilers front office watching this game, there should probably be some alarm bells going off about the dude they have in net right now if they're serious about running it back this year.
Yeah, and man, he's, I'm sure he's a good dude. You know what I mean? He looks like a very nice dude. He's a local guy, right? Local guy knows what being an Oiler means. I like the story. I don't know. I don't think he's the guy. And again, you're going to say he was one game short last year, winning the whole thing, Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the problem because they're he can do it. I think it's more let's put it this way. I like the Edmonton Oilers. And if they were going to go and get a goalie, no offense to Stuart Skinner, I would be oh, damn. You know what I mean? That would be that would hurt me because I'd be oh my God, they are so good. And if they get a goalie, it's kind of like when the Avalanche went and got Blackwood. If you don't think that a lot of teams around the league were not bothered by it, they were, because all of a sudden they were oh boy, okay. Now they have a goalie. You know what I mean? So they're dangerous. So I don't know.
I mean, I just wanted to get into this conversation because you always talk about, hey, outplay the guy on the other end of the ice. And Blackwood did that. We just ran through Blackwood's goals. And other than one of them, even if you didn't like them, you can say, hey, here's some context. You look at the goals that Skinner gave up tonight. First one, weak 5-hole. I guess it's MacKinnon on the power play, but that's really not a good goal. The Makar goal is brutal, under the glove, under the armpit glove area. And third one, all right, fair enough. That's a ridiculous corner pick on a crazy sauce pass from MacKinnon. I'm not going to fault them too much on that one, but when you're looking at these two goalies, you can say both of them didn't play well, but one of them fought through it, and the other one played poor enough in the first to get pulled. So it's the difference on that front. The other thing I wanted to talk about in this first segment of the show, though, special teams tonight, a little bit all over the place. Avs get a shorthanded goal, also get a power play goal, also give up 2 goals on their penalty kill, and also fail to score on a 5-on-3. How do you mark that scorecard?
Yeah, and you guys know my no-nos, you know what I mean? I was oh, God, when they got that 5-on-3 at the end, I'm oh, God, you got to get excited because you're hey, you can put that game away. You know what I mean? And then, it wasn't that pretty. And all of a sudden, that's a no-no because it usually bites you in the butt. But it didn't. And that's what I'm saying. Nothing made sense tonight about the special teams. Edmonton scores 2, but they give up 1. The Avs scored 1 power play goal, correct? Yeah, the Avs scored 1 power play goal. And it was just kind of all over the place, you know what I mean? And, yeah. I mean, I like you said, I thought it was a fun game. And I thought that, some logic wasn't there. But at the end of the day, cream rose to the top, whether it was Draisaitl, MacKinnon, McDavid was a little bit more quiet on the score sheet than the other 3, you know what I mean? But 3 of the 4 guys that are on top of the world were really good, point production wise. And again, as a fan, Watching, this game tonight, I think you got entertained. It was a fun hockey game, and someone was giving it to us about the predictions before the game. I mean, I wish, to be honest with you, I'd love to tell you every night that I predict everything. We'd be rich. We'd be betting on Bet365, and we wouldn't be doing these shows because we'd be like, predicting everything. But what are the odds that you think that both goalies are going to be struggling? You know what I mean? And then that's why you picked the low score. That's why I picked the low score. It went the other way. I mean, that doesn't mean that you don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's a prediction of a game before a game. I mean, okay, great, awesome. You make a call like it, then just having fun with it. And then when you nail it, it's like Randy nailed it yesterday. He's like, oh yeah, he called it. You know what I mean? And it's at the end of the day,
Hey,
it's a
I put it
prediction
this way:
before a game.
if our crystal ball worked, I'd be making a lot more money.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you know, Jesus. But fun game. It was awesome.
Yeah,
It was awesome. It was a big win, and we'll go from there.
it was interesting. I think there were long stretches of the game where both teams were flying, but then I also think there were stretches where they were kind of battling it out. They were finding ways to play effective defense, particularly at the Avs through the second period. They really turned up their neutral zone play at 5-on-5 a lot. They made it hard for Edmonton to possess the puck a ton. I do want to get into more of that and our 3 stars in a second here, but we're going to pay some bills before we do that, as we are brought to you by Team Grundle. Go get with Mando, all right? If your Grundle's a little grimery, all right. If you got the Lecky grime Grundle, Mando will take care of you. No matter what it is, whether it's balls, butts, grundles, armpits, you name it, Mando can get you smelling right and feeling right today. And you can use code DNVR over at Mando to get $5 off your starter pack today. Make sure you use the DNVR code, not just for the discount, but to let them know we sent you over there. Of course, they have a bunch of amazing products with all sorts of different scents that can get you feeling and smelling right. That starter pack comes with 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, as well as a solid stick deodorant and a cream tube deodorant. So get with that. The $5 off is actually equating to over 40% off when you include the free shipping too. Get to shopmando.com today. That's shopmando.com. And again, support our show. Use that DNVR code and get your discount and get your confidence boosted from head to toe with Mando. Once you're smelling good, feeling right, and all set with Mando, you've earned it. You've earned a little grease. You cleaned up the grime, so you get to go get some grease with Sexy Pizza. Go join Sexy Pizza today. Go get your slices of pie. Pizza that is just delicious. I don't know how else to tell you this. It's just really good pizza. Their everyday specials are fantastic. If you go to a location with alcohol, you can even upgrade the drink with the special to either a beer or a wine, whatever you like drinking. Jump on with Sexy Pizza with that. And the best part is Sexy Pizza is part of the community. They run fundraisers. They support local sports teams. They're always active and involved. So it's not just pizza. It's more than that. It's sustainability in the community. Go get with Sexy Pizza today, and you can get 15% off with code DNVR15 when you order online or in store today. All right, second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. Eric, who's getting a slices of Sexy Pizza today? Let's get to the 3 stars of the game. Now, I went with a different angle on the 3rd star. There are a couple of players that probably could have earned this, but this is a conversation I wanted to have. I took Parker Kelly as the 3rd star tonight.
I like it.
Because I have a couple reasons for this. The Avs penalty kill ends up giving up 2 goals tonight. Eric, as you always say, show me a good PK, I'll show you a good goalie. They didn't get the greatest goaltending tonight, but you make up for some of that. Parker Kelly makes the play that helps Cale Makar get the shorthanded goal that they do get.
Yep.
And consistently, both on the penalty kill and at 5-on-5, Parker Kelly was probably the Avs' best defensive forward tonight. Multiple shifts. I watch him break stuff up. He's pressuring guys at the blue line, forcing turnovers, and he gets on the board with a point. Only Avs depth forward with a point tonight. It's important, man.
And I tell you, I wish he would have had that empty netter at the end. I don't know, it's just kind of a nice little cherry on the sundae. You know what I mean? He kind of shot wide a little bit. He's fun. You know what I mean? It's just limited. offensively, obviously. But he's all hard work, and once you get a connection with someone, and clearly he's gotten it with Logan. You know what I mean, on the PK, and it
Yep.
started early in the year, and once you start doing that, you challenge yourselves. You know what I mean? I always say you got to bring something to the game. Um, there's no denying that Parker Kelly, Logan, they bring an absolute studly, if that's a word, presence to the Avs PK. You know what I mean? And I agree with you, and I say it all the time. Name, like you said, name me a good PK, I'll name you a good goalie. But I'll tell you one thing: those two have been dynamite. And we all know Lecky's good, and but when those two are together, they are like there's some speed with Logan. There's some smartness with Parker. He's a really smart young man, and it's fun because it's like I think they get excited. You know what I mean? And I like the choice there of doing that tonight because he's deserved it. I think their PK has overall, not just tonight. I mean, obviously Edmonton scored two tonight, but they're they're there for big plays, and they make big plays at crucial times of games. You know what I mean? When you need a big kill, it feels like lately, those guys are always there. You know what I mean? Always
Yep.
there, and it's kind of fun to see that. And you don't get rewarded like Marty Party and uh, Nate that's got a gazillion points in two games, or Kale that's like whatever. You know what I mean? But guys like that are important to a team. It's what makes a team. He's a big piece of the pie. Um, you know, and it's very important because when you have a recipe, to win, and he's part of the ingredients, and the PK is a very important, part of a, like I said, of a recipe. And then I do believe that they found this is great pro scouting right there. I got to be honest with you. When they made that deal, was that in the middle of the summer? Like it's like whatever, you know what I mean? You're like, like what's that? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but looking back at it, it's a very important piece of work they did last summer. You know what I mean? And that's pro scouting. You know what I mean? That's why those guys follow guys like that. They go, oh my God, he's be a good fit for us. You know what I mean? And they were bang on because he's been a great fit for the Avalanche. Now, if you're a moron and you look at his stats and go, oh my God, this guy, that's not what he's about. You know what I mean? That's not what he brings. That's not what he does. And I'll tell you one thing: if you're down by a goal, and you're pulling the goalie, I'm telling you right now, he's not on the ice. That's not what he's there for. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's there for tonight. And
Well,
he's there. That's why he's on the third star.
yep, exactly. A role player that knows his role, and when he's put in the position to play that role, it works pretty well. But
That's right.
the top two stars in this one for the Avs are unavoidable. Nathan Mackinnon, we're putting his second star with a 4-point night. It's tough out here when you have a 4-point night and you don't get the first star, but that's what happens when the Avs stars show up. So McKinnon was awesome tonight. I think especially early in this game, he scores the Avs' first goal. Why? Because he shot the puck on the power play. It's not a complicated conversation. All you have to do is and look, the important thing here that I think you saw develop through this game, he shot that puck, he scored that goal, and guess what? Then the Oilers have to respect that shot. So that opens up the passing lanes more for him, and that's how you end up with 3 assists at the end of the game.
Yeah, he does that back end that you and I talk about, that back end sauce there. And then, was it the Lecky? Yeah, Lecky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, all right, whatever. And then I was getting mad at him in the third there on the power play. Was it third or the second? I don't remember. I'm like, God, shoot the puck. I mean, you had success, and then he's just being stubborn now. And it's like, I'm going to pass it. And then, but again, it's a quiet 4-point night, 3-point night last night. And, like we were talking about that, like Draisaitl was like, oh, I better have a big night tonight. You know what I mean? Like, because, I'm trailing Mackinnon right a little bit. And it's like, it gets two
Not tonight,
Genos and
buddy. Yeah.
he falls behind by two more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, what? And again, this is not the end. You're going to see, I'm not bashing Draisaitl. I'm saying it's just the way it is. We saw it with Kucherov last year. Remember, like all of a sudden one guy has 4 points, the other guy has 5 points, the other guy has 2 points, the other guy has 4 points. I mean, you're going to see that a little bit, but yeah, you know what? Mac's feeling it right now. And then he's going to World, whatever it's called, Four Nations. And, you're going to put that with McDavid and all that kind of stuff. Like, oh my lord, you know what I mean? Like he could be dancing a lot there next week.
Yeah, it's fun to watch when the Avs superstars show up and play their best, and they outplayed the superstars on the other end tonight. Which, Avs might have owed them one, given the game they blew to the Oilers a couple weeks ago, but. The standout guy for me, and we already talked about the ridiculous time on ice, but Cale Makar puts in 2 goals, has a 3-point night, plays a bajillion minutes, and you know how many points Connor McDavid scored tonight?
0, yeah.
Do you think Cale Makar playing against him had something to do with that?
Yeah, but then Kale's not good defensively.
Okay,
sure.
Okay, relax.
Sarcasm. When I hear that, I'm like, what? What is wrong with you guys? I mean, they don't even give up shots for like 15, 20 minutes at a time. There's a reason the guy plays 30 minutes a night. That means he's got the pockets on the other side. So anyway, Cale Makar is a stud. He's a unicorn. He's the best player on the planet. He is my man. I'm just so in awe of that guy. You know what I mean? And kind of fun too. Western Canada, he gets 2 big nights. He's from there, and growing up, in Calgary, of course, I'm sure had a little bit of rivalry with Edmonton and his friends and families, and it was kind of, I'm sure it was nice for his family to see him and friends, and he sure didn't disappoint. And like you said, in 24 hours, that's a lot of hockey he played. So he was out there a lot.
And the most impressive part of it to me is that second goal for him. First goal, sure, it's a nice play, little soft from Skinner. First assist, pretty easy one to Mackinnon on the power play. But that second goal, not just the incredible shot where he beats Pickard and all that, on a penalty kill, playing as much as he had, he's able to read the play, recognize Kelly has created a turnover in the offensive zone, and lightning speed, as a defenseman on the penalty kill, jumps up into the play into the offensive zone and is able to be there and get the pass from Kelly and do all the finishing stuff. I'm not in shape, so my legs don't even understand how that's humanly possible.
Yeah, and there's as you know, there's sometimes I'm like, especially with not Kale necessarily, but Mac, it's like, oh boy, go to the bench. Go to the bench. Go to the bench. You know what I mean? Because it's like if you get caught the other way, like your legs die. You know what I mean? No, this guy keeps going. I think Kale surprises us because he's so diligent about when to leave, and you know what I mean. But I think he does have that burst. You know what I mean? Like you're talking about that.
If he wants it,
if he wants it, he can do it. You know what I mean? But I think he's just so smart at how he manages his time because, like I said, I almost died when I played 20 minutes, and this guy does it like every night. I'm close to 30. You know what I mean? And those are heavy minutes, and it's like top end guys, and McDavid, and I don't know. I mean, he's a special guy. He turned on the Jets on that play there. He stayed, and boy, oh boy, is he fun to watch. Fun to watch.
Yeah, it's nights like this, you get to just sit back and enjoy it. So that's what I did for most of the night. That's why it was such a fun game. Those are the Avs 3 stars. Not all of the quality play on the night, though. That Avs top line rounded out with Leckie had a couple of points, and Natchez, of course, scoring that game-winning goal. Yeah, you can see how it works. You can see why you might not want to move Natchez away from Mackinnon after a night like that.
I wouldn't. I mean, they're fun to watch. They back you right off. They do. I mean, what is that shirt? Oh boy, you know what I mean? Like, who was that? Peter Angelo? Like, I mean, man, oh man, like they're coming at you, and it's like I'm backing right up. I am not getting caught there like a turnstile handing out a coupon or whatever you want to call that. Like, no way, my friend. And I keep them together. I mean, they seem to have chemistry right away, and they're both like, I'm so fast, but one is, tick 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 tick. You know what I mean? That's Mac, and then the other one is a little bit more smooth, right? You know what I mean? Where it's like it's a little different. But yeah, I wouldn't touch it. And they're 4-1 last 5 games. I don't give a crap. Like I don't touch it. I keep it like that.
Yeah,
and the other guys. Yeah, I mean it's not the prettiest. The other guys, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little absent sometimes. But if they're gonna score, But then the problem you're going to tell me, oh yeah, but if they get shut out, then you'll be the first guy to talk. Yeah, I will be. The first guy to say at some point you got to help out. You know what I mean? Because most nights they are there, and they're not going to hit 4 posts, or they are going to score 4 or 5. But the other guys have to help contribute a little bit.
Amon in chat.
I believe the front office knows that. So
yeah, Amon in chat asking for a comparable for Natchez.
For me, hold on. I'm going to go old school right away, and then I'll go new school. Old school Avs 1.0 for me. He's a little bit like Valerie Kaminsky. You know what I mean? Like in my book, because it's so smooth. They're so good on their edges, and with the puck, again, like I've said before, there's some guys that are smooth, and then you throw a puck in the equation, and it's ugly. You know what I mean? This guy, you throw a puck in there, and it's just as smooth, or even smoother. It's even more beautiful to see. That would be old school. New school, I mean, he's got some hedgy in him when he releases the puck. Hey Duke, when he releases, it's just pure, right? In the sense that it's his release is unpredictable for a goalie. And again, I've said that before. Goalies read, the release of the players. That's what they do. That's why they're goalies in the NHL, and that's why they're able to see where the puck's going. Guys shoot pucks so quick, fast, and wherever they want it to be. So it's hard for goalies, but that's what they're good at, is they read the release. And this guy, he's unpredictable. Like, you know what I mean? It's like hedgy. And people are like, well, you didn't have the best shot, hey Duke. Well, no crap. You know what I mean? Like, but his release was not predictable. And that's what I see a little bit with Natchez. If you look at that breakaway goal yesterday, you know what I mean? I don't think Dusty Wolf knows where it's going. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden it's in the, it hits the top water bottle and it's in the net. So I'm going to go with that. And then to get to even now, like, I don't know. I mean, man, oh man, I got to think about that one. It's a good question, like around the league today. You know what I mean? Like, who is he comparable to? I'll be thinking about it, though. I'll come up with a guy here in the next couple of minutes. Let me think.
I got a name.
It's special. It's special.
Not modern, but another throwback name.
Yeah.
And people are going to be mad at me because he's not quite as good of a shooter, but he reminds me of
Cody McLeod.
No.
Okay,
Mike Madonna.
You know what? That is a good one. Mike was a lefty. Marty Party is a righty.
Yeah.
But they skate, and there's a way about the way they skate.
They flow through
jersey,
the neutral zone.
The jersey flaw. You know what I mean? It
exactly.
It's special. And again, the jerseys are a little tighter now, than they were back then. We had looser jerseys. But, I'll tell you one thing. It's a great comparison, actually. And Mike could shoot a puck too, you know what I mean? And it's a great comparison. I mean, oh my God, if Marty Natchez, gets to be like Mike Modano in Dallas, I mean, Modano's got a statue outside the building, doesn't he?
He does, I believe, yeah.
That's pretty good. So, but that's a great comparison, Rudo. I like that. I like that a lot. Yep.
We are running behind here, so I do need to pay some bills. We are brought to you by the folks over at Bet365. Won some, lost some today on this game. Hit a couple of bets, didn't hit the under, that's for sure. But Makar power play point, big cash money. You can get big money with Bet365 when you sign up with code DNVR365. Eric can't believe
that was free money. That was free money.
The code will get you $150 in bonus bets when you sign up with a new account. All you have to do is bet $5 on anything, win or lose, and you'll get the bonus bets. You can bet on whatever you want, too. It doesn't have to be the Avs. You can bet on the Nuggets. You can bet on the big game on Sunday, whatever it might be with Bet365. So use that DNVR365 code when you sign up. And, of course, when you do gamble with Bet365, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. Once you've made a little bit of extra money, go get yourself some new sunglasses with Shady Rays. Jump on Shady Rays and get 35% off any pair of polarized sunglasses with code DNVR. shadyrays.com. They have hundreds of different things to choose from, different styles, different polarizations. They even have prescription sunglasses if you need the correction. They've got it all. They've been given 5 stars by over 300,000 people. And the coolest part about Shady Rays is their trial period. When you get a pair for the first 30 days, if you don't like them, you lose them or you break them, Shady Rays will replace them entirely for free. So jump in with Shady Rays today. Use that DNVR code, get 35% off, and enjoy your brand new pair of sunglasses at shadyrays.com. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. Look, this game was a load of fun all the way around. Sometimes you just have to sit back and enjoy a hockey game where there are two really good teams going at it. And that's mostly what I did in this game. You're at the end of this stretch of hockey. You got a break coming up. I don't think there's any argument that the Avs left it all on the table. But is the future bright for Colorado? Is this break good or bad? Let me ask you. I'm calling it good because I think the future's bright. But this 2-week break, is this going to allow the Avs to rest up and get healthy, other than obviously the guys that have to go play hockey? Or could this shake their mojo a little bit?
Shady Rays, the future is bright for me for the Avalanche because of this break. I think it's just, I like the way he did the 5-gamer at the end there and challenged them, and then all of a sudden it's a reset. Yes, they have some guys playing, obviously, in the Four Nations, but I think it gives the front office time to breathe a little bit, to reassess a few things. We all know, listen, it's not perfect. You got to remember, those guys are trying to win the whole thing, 4 rounds, right? You know, they didn't feel in October, whatever it was. I don't remember when that was, but it was right around Christmas or whatever it was, that the goaltending was good enough. Bang, bang. They fix it, right? Not once, but twice in a week, They feel that all of a sudden the Mikko thing, it's not going the way they want to do it. Then I don't want to say they fix it because I don't like that word, because Mikko wasn't a problem. But I'm saying this, all of a sudden, it's like as you're going, we saw it again tonight. Marty Party's been a pretty good freaking addition to this team. Yes, you lose a big part in Mikko, but Marty Party is bringing something. You know what I mean? Like, wow, he's dancing out there, and it's fun. So it almost looks like you're retooling along the way. I don't want to say the Avs are retooling, but I'm saying that situation is a retool along the way. And then now I think it gives them a reason to just breathe. Okay. Where are we attacking next? Because we have a month left. What is it? March 7th, right? So what's today's date? 7th?
Yeah, exactly a month.
So exactly a month. Yeah. And then in that month, there's 2 weeks of nothing, right? You know what I mean? So it's happening quick. So I think we're hitting our game plan. We're going to take a little bit of time too. Take 48 hours. CMAC, if you're listening, get away. Go take care of wife, kids, just breathe a little bit, 48 hours. And I know, because it's a crazy job. Those guys work 24/7. Take a breather for 48 hours. Enjoy, what you saw the last 10 days or so. But then what you need. And again, even in a game like tonight, you can tell what needs to be addressed a little bit, and make sure that you're on the same page, and you guys get on the same page and go and attack and see what you can do. And sometimes you can't do anything. It's life, right? It's the law it's the nature of the beast. And but so far so good. And I think what they've touched and what they've retooled along the way has worked. And keep doing it in a sense that if you feel that you need to do something, then I think when you're on a clear mind and away from the stressful of day-to-day games and wins and losses and emotions, it kind of makes you set up a little bit of a, that's why I say the future is bright, in the sense that this break really makes them take a deep breath and see and really confirm what they've been working on. It's not something that they'll start working on this week, but they've been working on since last year, in a sense that how do we get to be the last team standing?
Yep. Well, if the future is bright, make sure you go over to shadyrays.com. Use that DNVR code to get 35% off. A couple more conversations I want to have here. One, Artturi Lehkonen continues to be the man for wherever you put him. Obviously, he's been on the top line lately, but picks up 2 points tonight, picks up a big goal to help the Avs win the first period. It's, I think, in a lot of ways, when you talk about the Avs' style of play, obviously they're skilled. Obviously, they have a lot of freedom to make decisions and play that they want to play. But when Jared Bednar takes a new player in, a Jack Drury, a Marty Necas, the two names that come up that says that Jared Bednar is going to tell people, I want you to play like this guy, it's Logan O'Connor and it's Arturi Lehkonen.
Pretty good there.
Pretty good.
It's true.
So
trust, right? It's a trust factor. And when you have that, I mean, you're golden. And sometimes when you switch coaches, you know what I mean, then you got to go get that. I'm not saying from one coach to another, but a lot of times there's a lot of things that happen when you switch coaches, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, but this guy used to like me. Now this guy doesn't like me, or whatever it is. But when you've been around, you've been together for a bit, and you do the right things, and you go out there and you're predictable in the effort you're going to give. You're predictable in what you're going to do, and be on top of your assignments. Then those are two names right there that pop right at you, like you said, O'Connor and Lehkonen.
Eric, I want to play a little more trivia with you because I think this is an interesting conversation. Who do you think the Avs' two best possession players were in this game?
Tonight, let's think about this one. Possession players. Wouldn't Kale be one of them? No?
No.
See, that's how great I am with numbers. Would O'Connor be one of them?
No.
All right, let me go through the whole lineup. Keaton Middleton. Yeah, I'm kidding.
The two best possession players in this game for the Avs by percentage.
Yeah.
Casey Middlestat and Juuso Parssinen.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, okay. I wouldn't have thought that.
And I want to get into this conversation because I see chat saying these guys were invisible. And I don't think that they're necessarily wrong, but were they invisible because Jared Bednar just didn't play them very much? Realistically, at 5-on-5, that line was only on the ice for one shot on goal against. And that shot on goal was a high danger chance. And obviously the conversation is more complicated than that. Eric, you talked about it. Casey's last shift in the third period was a mess. He turned the puck over multiple times, and I get it. But there's a clear disconnect with that line and Jared Bednar's trust that you were just talking about. And the Avs got away with it. They won this game anyway, and deservedly so. It's hard for me to knock Jared Bednar's decision-making the way the Avs' top players were playing in this game. But this is a conversation that's going to come to a head. You cannot be playing Juuso Parssinen in 6 minutes a night. If you're doing that, why is he in your lineup in the first place?
Then go back and get Brendan Duhaime. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
I'm not saying they're going to trade Duhaime. I'm saying that type of player. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's you got to be a fit, and it just seems right now that they're trying to make these guys fit, and it doesn't seem to fit. You know, I mean, I don't know. But like you said, if you look at possession numbers, then, of course, percentage-wise. Now, if you would have played them 25 minutes, I don't know if they'd be leading. You know,
they probably wouldn't. But if you play like that in 6, isn't that how you earn more?
No, you're right. You're right. And it's clearly a trust thing. And you know, I don't know. Sometimes life's not fair, right? You know, you can't do and I'm not blaming Bedsy or anyone, but sometimes you in the eyes of others, you're just not doing anything right. You know what I mean? And you feel that, and it's a confidence thing, and then then you have a shift like you had at the end, and it's like oh shit, oh crap, sorry, here it is. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna see the rest of I'm not gonna see the ice the rest of the night, and then that was it too. You know what I mean? Because that was a tough one. And
Middlestat played 9:30 for the record.
Yeah, that's my point. So it's tough.
Yep. And my problem here isn't necessarily all right. If the Avs don't trust Middlestat or whoever, fine. but they're not replacing it with anybody. You're just adding more of a load onto your top guys. That's how you have a night where Makar plays 29 minutes. I know he's a defenseman, but the Avs top line played 24 and a half minutes, 25 minutes tonight. And again, you can do that sometimes, but you can't do that every night. You need those second weapons. You need those second guys to produce for you. And let's be honest here. When you look beyond that second line, when you look beyond Middlestat, Drouin, and Parsonen, there's just not been a lot of production out of your depth guys. Parker Kelly, again, your only depth forward to pick up a point tonight. You're not expecting a whole lot of production out of guys like Logan O'Connor, out of guys like Parker Kelly, even out of guys like Jack Drury. You want some production, but you're not expecting a lot, and you need that second line. Like, sure, whatever, down the line if they make moves at the trade deadline, okay, but you need your second line to play and produce at a certain point.
Yeah, the way I look at it, I think as a coaching staff, here's what I think they see. You would need a blind man to. I mean, I'm not sure what I'm trying to say here, but it's not that hard to figure out that Nathan Mackinnon, Lekkonen, and Marty Party is something he's got trust on, obviously, because it's beautiful to watch. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's not that hard to figure out. They have a trust also in Logan, Kelly, and Drury. Right, you know what I mean, and again,
they trust them to do a thing, and it's not scoring.
Yeah, and then Kivy, what did I say? Yeah, Kivy is sorry, not Drury, Kivy, sorry. Right,
I mean, I think you trust Drury already, to be honest with
you. No. That's what I'm trying to say. As units.
Yeah, sure,
okay?
Sure.
So, right, and again, those are my clock killers, right? And I mean that with all the respect in the world. You know that I love that expression. Those are the clock killers. You know what he knows what he's getting out of those three, right? Kibbe, LOC, and Parker. They're not going to give you a lot of offense, you know what I mean? So that's 2 lines out of 4. And then after that, I think he likes Joe Drouin. He does, and Jonathan, has done great when he's been in the lineup this year. We all know that he's been great. He's been a great Avalanche. You can put him with MacKinnon. You can put him obviously on the first power play. So I'm not worried about him. But it's more like where does he? Who does Casey fit with? People are like, yeah, but Natushkin's not there. Well, last I checked, I mean, I don't think Natushkin and Casey really hit it off well, right? I mean, or maybe I'm missing something. I don't.
I mean, Chushkin was playing fine, but Casey was in the middle of his slump at that point. So yeah,
that's my point. So it's like, so now you're like, oh, okay, you know what I mean. So as a unit, between Jonathan, Casey, and so who's with them? I mean, I'm having a blank here.
Parsonen in there. Sort of.
Sorry, Parsonen. It's clearly not going to be that. How's that? I'm going to be very confident saying it's clearly not going to be that come playoff time. And then you got Ross and Woody and Drury, which I think he's been awesome. You know what I mean?
Agree, but Ross and Wood, I think you can throw in the conversation if you need more out of those guys too.
That's my point. So you see what I mean? There's a little bit of a ham sandwich there. He's got 2 lines that he's predictable. He feels good with. And then he's got 2 that he's like, I got to tinker this. I got to figure it out. And of course, Natushkin's part of what I'm trying to say. But at some point, like you said, you got to help out a little bit offensively. There's no way you go night in and night out and not produce offensively. You can't, especially if you're playing, I don't care, 12 minutes. 12 minutes is a boatload of ice. You know what I mean? Like, it's way more than 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Parsonen, you play 6 minutes, you're not producing, and don't worry, I'm not going to throw the ball at you and say, oh my God, man, you got to do something. It's tough when you don't play a lot. And you can tell in their faces like there's not a lot of confidence. So I think this is where they got to tinker. You know what I mean? Of with the break here coming up, like where are we at? Like how are we doing this here? Because right now we're a one line team with, another line that we feel can kill the clock if we got the lead, right? The old
Yeah.
Messier yelled Podine line, right? You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
Ross Colton has, or not Ross Colton, Miles Wood has 3 points in 23 NHL games this year. And I know there's injury factors there and whatnot, but when you're producing less in a season than Eric Lacroix was producing back in his day.
Whoa. With that ice time, I would have produced. At the end, when you play 5 minutes a night, it's tough. That's why I'm not throwing daggers.
In Colorado, you were a 30-point guy, automatic. So,
of course, buddy. Around 10 minutes a night. That's what happened. You had guys like Sakic, Forsberg, freaking Ozelin. It's not that hard.
Yeah, well, Miles Wood's got McKinnon, Makar, Natchez.
Yeah, there you go.
You got to find a way to contribute.
Automatically, you're not playing against the other team's best. That's for sure.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So right there, that's an automatic, so that gives you a leg up.
Look, I don't want to linger on this because, again, with the problems that the Avs lineup has, you should still feel really good about this team right now. They just went out and beat the Edmonton Oilers as one of the top teams in the West. The Avs were on a Segababa. They grounded through. Their stars showed up and got the job done. It's not only that, it's this last stretch of hockey. And I'm not telling you the Vancouver game was good. Obviously, it was a bad game. But the Avs have had that punch back that they've lacked at times, I think. Tonight, first couple of goals the Avs score, they get punched back both times. They still find a way to get that third goal in the first period and win the period. Things don't go great despite playing a good second period. You end up tied at the end of it. Mm-hmm. They don't even score on their 5-on-3. Avs still find a way to keep themselves in the game and ultimately get the late game winner. It's a lot of portions of this season, it felt like the Avs haven't done a good enough job to find a way to win. This last little stretch, they're finding ways to win again.
Yeah, because break it down very simply. I'll take it a step further than what you just talked about. They go on to win the first period on the road on a Segababa. It's exactly what you want, right? You're up 3-2 after the period. Is it perfect? No. But are you on top? Yes. You know what I mean? And then, because you don't want to be chasing, as we know, once you start chasing on a Segababa, your legs will give out at some point. You know what I mean? So now they go in the first, they win it. Things don't go their way in the second, even though they were fine. They lose that period 2-1. There's two teams out there. You're talking about the Draisaitl's of the world, McDavid. I mean, it's a pretty good hockey team. You know what I mean?
They're all right.
But then and that's right. So you've won a period, you've lost a period, but you're not down and out. And then what do? You go win the third period, 1-0. And then that's where the ping pong, the yo-yo, right, of momentum swings and on the scoreboard, with play time, with possession time, and that's where they've been a little bit better the last 5 games, and that's why they're 4-1, right? You know what I mean? Because they've been able to punch back, and they've been able to say, you know what? No, that this is my net. I'm taking my net. You're not taking my net. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, let's go fight about it. Let's not just give up and let the other team walk all over you and just take over the game. So I think that's a big positive that we've seen the last, especially 5 games, and but especially tonight. You know what I mean? And even last night in Calgary, where it doesn't go their way. You know what I mean? Like the start was just like, what is this? You know what I mean? Yep. And the weird plays and puck in the stands and it's like, guys, let's just shape up. And then all of a sudden, they take the shovel and they whack them right across the face with it. And that's exactly what they did. And then maybe tonight they did it again. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, you want to mess around with me? I'll take my shovel and just whack you. And you can whack people when you got McKinnon, Makar, and guys like that, and Marty Party for that matter.
Well,
it's been outstanding.
It's about taking the punches as much as it is throwing them, right? The Avs have put themselves in some rock fights, and they found ways to win them instead of portions of this season. It felt like for them to win, they just kind of had to run away with the game. At portions of this season, it felt like they were maybe running the rope-a-dope at times where they'd fall behind early and then come back and win. But sometimes you just got to go out there and go blow for blow and come out the better side of it. So it's encouraging to see the Avs finding different ways to win again, instead of things having to go a very specific way.
And it's funny because to go back to what I was saying 5 minutes ago, to mix it in what we're saying right now, this moment is you take the break man, coaches are all the same. They go to dinner with their wives and they have their pencil out, their pen, and they're putting new lines together. And you know, what I mean, like again, fans, chat people, we're all doing that, right? It's like, oh my God, you're gonna put this guy with that guy. And I think you got to figure out right now, and again, only they know what's going on with Natushkin, right? As we know. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong, bad, or I'm not saying anything. I'm saying is we really haven't seen him. We've seen him with bare shorts on the ice a few times and shooting pucks on with skates and whatever. And then seen him out there a little bit, but they know what is his problem right now, or whatever it is, that lower body injury, whatever that is, and they know, like, is he realistic coming back, like, once the puck drops after the Four Nations, or is he even more lengthy? You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
think that's going to be all part of their plan for the trade deadline. But they got to find a way to tinker those next two lines because, like you just said, you can't go out there and play 12, 13, 14 minutes a night and really don't produce goals. Like I'm sorry, like it just like it's not normal.
Yep.
And I'm not bashing anyone. I'm just saying you got to bring a little bit more than I just played. Ooh, wow. You gotta get on the score sheet. You gotta help out. You gotta. It's not normal. It's absent. It's absent for some guys. It's really absent, and it's alarming a little bit. And I think, again, I'm not trying to downplay this game. It's a big win and it's fun, but I'm telling you, what they're going to be looking at, where, how can we fix those two lines there? You know what I mean? Where there's some sort of production.
And look, maybe the fix is as simple as some of these guys get a reset over the next 10 days.
For
So
sure, yeah, for sure, something.
we'll see. The Avs are off. They've earned a well-deserved rest. The 4-1 into the break here put themselves in a good position. They are technically tied in points with Minnesota, of course, games in hand, but they're going to make it exciting down the stretch here. There's going to be a positional battle for seeding in the last 25 games of the year. I'm excited. It's a little bit of ways, but hey, we'll still be live 5 days a week, even with the break in the NHL. I'm sure we'll be talking trade stuff. I see Chad already talking about it. We'll be talking Four Nations games as they happen. So it's going to be fun. We'll still have plenty of content for you here. And of course, keep an eye out probably in the morning for my review and AJ's studs and duds from this game. So that's all I got, unless you want to add anything else before the break.
No, we'll have some fun during the break. We'll be looking. I'll be at one of those a couple of those Four Nations game here. I'm definitely going to be at the Canada Finland one, and is it Sweden US? Yeah, it's one of those. I mean, two of those, so it'll be fun. A lot of Avs players, and so we'll try to get some good guests too, and people that are around, and we'll have a good time. And in the meantime, you got to feel good about this Avs team and where they're at, especially the way they finished. And yeah, do they want to be towards the top? Absolutely. That's what I care about. But I don't care where they finish. I care that they finish the right way and that they're going into the dance well armed and ready to go. And I think there's a little bit more work to do. And I'm not putting pressure on CMAC because I sure know it's not Xbox and it's real. But I'm putting a little bit of pressure on CMAC, just to see and tinker and see what they can do to help out a little bit on the back end, on the fore. I mean, not the forehand, but the up front, back and forehand. And then go from there. So I'm excited for it. They're really in a good spot, and and again, there's always Landy too. We'll know more about Landy, and again, Landy, we all know he hasn't played in 3 years, so we're not expecting much. It's all a bonus if he plays in my book. You know what I mean? Meaning like
Yep, I agree.
I can't imagine someone playing 3 years later. I mean, who knows, right? And people that will tell you, "Oh, I knew he was going to do. Oh, I knew he wouldn't do it." You'd be lying because you have no idea. There's really no example of what people have done that. So think we'll see. And if it comes along, it comes along, and it's awesome. And if somebody can do it, it's him. So
Yep.
He's got the heart of a lion.
All right. We'll call it there. Good vibes all the way around for the Avs. We are off both weekend days, but the pod will be back on Monday. So we hope to see you here. Like and subscribe on YouTube or, wherever you listen, watch, whatever it might be. This has
hold up. 3 super chats.
3 super chats. Hit them. This has been super chat time. $5 from Schick, who says, can someone please explain why Hughes is the favorite for the Norris? No disrespect to him, but Makar does so much more. You want to know the real answer? Hughes is the favorite for the Norris because Nathan Mackinnon is the reigning MVP. It's that same stupid conversation that they always have of, well, he plays with Nathan Mackinnon. I've actually looked into this a little bit, and I think it's fair that Cale Makar does play better with Nathan Mackinnon. That's true. But also, Quinn Hughes plays against significantly easier competition every night than Cale Makar does. Quinn Hughes gets a lot of shifts against not top lines. Cale Makar, almost all of his shifts are against the best dudes on the other team. Cale be my favorite.
I like him. Yeah, I like them both. I do believe. I like Quinn Hughes. I like the Hughes kids. I really do. I just think that Cale is a step above anybody else. Like I said, he's a unicorn. For me, he's the best player on the planet. And there's the Canadian media has a lot to do with that too. I'm
true.
Canadian. I'm not bashing Canada. I'm saying they are pushing for the Canadian players all the time.
Yeah. $5 from WB, who says, if we had a true 2C and a 3D, this will be a great cup run team. Great work this season by CMAC and team to turn this team into a contender. Go Avs. I think a 3D is going to be tough. Maybe a 4D and maybe more of a middle 6C than a true 2C. But we'll see. $20, big 20 from Marie, who says, great win, cheering for the Eagles on Sunday. I am also rooting against the Chiefs just on principle. So there is that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. That is it, I guess, for reals this time. We appreciate y'all.
Now you can end the show.
Yeah, exactly. This has been the DNVR Avalanche postgame show presented by Bet365. We will see you on Monday.
We all silly like the mayor.